I think Miami is really interesting, guys. Obviously Florida State looks like the team that's going to have the easiest road to the ACC title game, but who the hell is going to be the other team they play? When you look at Miami, they're all the way down at 17. They have that great win against A&M that only looks better and better every week. They go to Carolina next week. They get Clemson to come to their place. They get Virginia to come to their place. They go to Tallahassee. They get Louisville at home. There's a ton of ranked games in there where they could get wins.
White Steve. Steve, hello. Good evening. Welcome.
Welcome, gentlemen. Glad to be here. Making you sound 100%.
All right, so listen.
Week 6.
Listen, I'm 100%, but what I like to call this 100% is the new normal. So now, like a couple months ago, this would have been my 97%.
Okay.
But now it's my 100%. I lost about 50% of my hearing with clogged passageways and sinuses and such, and my ears keep popping. So I get a pop, and I'm like, oh, I'm all the way back. But then I get a subsequent pop, and I'm like, I wasn't all the way back. How am I ever going to know when I'm all the way back?
You might be at 50%.
Right.
You might not even know it.
Right.
You're just calling it the new normal.
So the nose is gone. The cough is gone. Aches and pains gone. I'm feeling great, Steve. That's the bottom line.
Did Steve just welcome us to our own fucking show?
Thank you for the question.
How old are you making?
37.
You sound 80.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, come on.
I can't wait.
Week 6.
Until that. Yeah. Week 6. Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, how was Durham? Because the game was tough if you bought to 7 and took the Duke Blue Devils. Push City. I'm okay with a push. But
I had to fly back. I didn't get a chance to go to the game. Scott was on after Mississippi State Bama, so we were watching that game together. He gave out Duke and winners, and when Estime scored, I thought he broke his hand smashing it on the table. And then I was the guy who told Scott when I was watching and reading press conference clippings this week, Coach Freeman told Estime to go down, and he didn't. He said he saw an opportunity, and that opportunity was taking it to the paint.
That really did cost some.
Yeah, it was featured in Bad Beats, so sorry. But you didn't lose.
You said Scott slammed his hand down like this. Do you remember when Dan Marino went, on set at CBS? Do you remember that?
I don't.
God, you need to look it up. Everybody
will.
needs to look up the Dan Marino.
I'll put it on the priority
on
for watching on my
Please.
flight.
It is right up your alley. If we had screen sharing, I'd do it. All right. So, anyways, have you not seen it either, Macon?
It's not coming to mind.
Can we just pull up the meltdown? Can Steve see the meltdown?
Do you remember college basketball coach Jeff Jones punching a chalkboard and breaking the shit out of his hand?
That'll happen.
I do remember that one.
It was in a cast for months.
Dan Marino meltdown. Is this just a bunch of Dan Marino? No, Dan Marino was a savage is not what we're looking for. I know he's a savage.
Macon, you're familiar with the Durham area. You ever go to the Angus Barn?
No.
Fantastic.
I think we were 2 for 2 though. Q Shack and you had done something else. No, I don't know the Angus Barn.
Yeah, Angus Barn was tremendous. Steak the size of your head. Excellent.
Guys, all you got to do is search Dan Marino meltdown CBS. Here, Meg.
I talked to my man Terrell Buckley last week in Miami. He was on a bye week, by the way, playing golf. He told me that defense is God damn it. Jesus.
You gotta hear it.
Good wheels on the chair too.
Yeah, dude. That can be tricky. At inside the NFL, the wheels don't really move. Anyways. All right.
I'm guessing that was different chairs than you guys have.
Yeah, the technology is totally different. All right. So, anyways, Durham was fun. We liked Durham.
Well, come on.
I'm going to Durham this weekend, so I need to know what to do. Yeah.
Oh, I'll give you a run through.
Okay.
Fantastic place.
I'm going for the Little Brother reunion.
I'll be damned.
Also featuring Big Crit. Big Crit's opening for Little Brother. I know Big Crit probably don't want to think about it that way, but
venue in Durham?
I don't even know. It's like a block party.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. You're such a shitbag.
Well, I mean, it's just a terrible.
I'm gonna have a great time. I'm actually meeting William Hayes down
Yeah, I was
there.
gonna say Hayes, you got to be in the mix.
Dr. Fax is coming down, so we're gonna have a good time.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
I'm stunned you didn't stick around, Steve, in Durham.
Okay,
No.
so we've got Dallas this weekend for the RRS
Yep.
or the triple R, depending
Yep.
on what you like.
Steve's a company man. He has to go double R. That's it.
Yeah.
Red River.
No, he called it the shootout last week.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
No.
Yeah.
Going to Dallas.
Okay. What's going on in Dallas, Steve? What do we think?
I watched a bunch of Oklahoma just because of the way the windows have worked, where I've been, and their game times. I haven't watched them live once, so I went in and watched 3 games this week. They obviously are better on defense. They couldn't be worse on defense, so there is that going for them. But the offensive line is
Kind of like Macon's ears.
Is
Kind of like Macon's ears.
I got the joke, mate.
The hearing
I got
joke,
it.
yeah.
I got it.
You got it.
No, but I think this is going to be an older school Texas-Oklahoma game. Like, high scoring, momentum swings, stadium split 50-50. Like, it's going to be as intense as theirs. There's a 49-0 game from last year that I know Oklahoma brings up every chance they get, knowing that they've been counting the days to this one. But I think it's all about the quarterbacks, guys. I really do. Sark calling the plays is as good as creating matchups as there is. And Lebby on the other side has done a great job. Gabriel's fantastic. I think he's 5th in total QBR in the country. So you've seen improvement there. And I believe they're, to offset that great defensive line for Texas, they're going to have to spit the ball out, pretty quickly. And they have guys to do it. Dylan is accurate enough to do it. And I think Texas injury, JT Sanders, the tight end, is a guy that they move around in the run game a lot. He's 3rd in the country in yards receiving amongst tight ends, 2nd in yards per reception amongst tight ends. He's probably not going to be able to go high ankle. So I believe that's the difference. I believe Texas wins, but I'll take Oklahoma plus the points in a great game.
What a sad day for the league, huh?
Oh, you had to go there, huh?
Yeah, it's a sad day. What do we do in the future? We just put the guns down? Sounds good. Sounds good, like in general, but with this rivalry, it would be a bad thing.
Farmageddon gets a bigger stage.
Okay. Is there one rivalry that needs to be deleted that's just not doing it for you anymore? Because this one's still great, and they're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Something with Minnesota, I think. Like, who cares?
Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Yeah, like, who cares?
Whoa.
Battle for the judge.
Axe.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's Paul Bunyan's
some sort of
axe.
Yeah, the axe. What about the jug? Who are they playing for the jug?
Minnesota. That's this week. Minnesota, Michigan.
Yeah.
Little brown jug.
Okay. All right. Well, give us here. We wanted to get to this week before we got into our game breakdowns. Coaches on the hot seat. Are there any early in this season that you've got your eye on? You don't like doing that.
I don't
Go to the next
think
place.
so. I mean, I know people in Baton Rouge aren't happy, and I've gone back and forth whether it's scheme or effort. I think it's a big combination of both. Mason Smith was a D tackle that got hurt in the first series last year against Florida State, missed the whole season. They were expecting big things. I think he'd be the first to tell you that he hasn't played well this year. They should have, going into the season, I thought they might have had the best tandem of D tackles in the country with Wingo and him, but they haven't performed. Tackling has been atrocious. They brought in all transfer guys in the secondary. They're not on the same page. So it hasn't been pretty, but they still have everything in front of them as far as winning the SEC West and all that. You still get A&M. You still play Bama. I do believe the winner of Bama A&M goes to the SEC title game, but that's Napier. That's the problem. I mean, these young quarterbacks that are playing and the coaches that just got jobs. I hate to tell these fan bases, but you got to give them a little time. Napier's doing really well recruiting. So is Brian Kelly, and I'm sorry you can't win every game, and you go on the road and score 49 and you lose. That's kind of the day and age we're in as far as the ball goes. So the offense is great. Big test this week in Columbia, Missouri. But no, I don't think any seats are hot.
They were saying Terry Bowden was on the hot seat before the season.
I cannot
By the way,
believe
Terry Bowden looks great.
is coaching a football
I
team.
love
Yeah.
Terry Bowden.
That's
Fun row.
amazing.
ULM's 2-2.
Yep.
Okay, they got a chance. All right. So, anyways,
Hey, Steve, did you poo-poo Ole Miss, LSU last week?
as a game, he liked the Kansas-Texas game. I think
We were
better.
like game of the week. It's in
we were
Oxford.
trying to go game of the week.
Yeah.
but
And then it just
Russillo
went.
was there. I didn't want to take any of the shine away from him.
Yeah, exactly. You know
was
when
a
he
banger.
touched down on a SEC campus.
Yeah, I didn't. All focus should be.
He's got the thighs out with the Legends gear, and he's just strutting around Oxford. Maybe get a workout in the morning, hit the tailgates. All right, so how about some teams outside the top 10 that actually have a shot to get in the playoff? Because this is an interesting one to me at this point in the season.
I go as far down as I think Miami is really interesting, guys, because I don't know who, obviously Florida State looks like the team that's going to have the easiest road to the ACC title game, but who the hell is going to be the other team they play? When you look at Miami, they're all the way down at 17. They have that great win against A&M that only looks better and better every week. They go to Carolina next week. They get Clemson to come to their place. They get Virginia to come to their place. They go to Tallahassee. They get Louisville at home. There's a ton of ranked games in there where they could get wins. And if they were to run the table, that's the thing, is what was impressive last year. And I think people couldn't see it because they never saw TCU do it before. But when you're down there, you have to run. Like, the only mindset is run the table.
Yeah.
You can't have any hiccup. So you have to gain momentum along the way. And the likes of North Carolina, Clemson, Florida State, Louisville, that's pretty impressive if they were to run that table. So I would think Miami has to be as happy as they could be, knowing where they were last year at this time and now looking at what's ahead of them. As far as that, I think you got to be undefeated. Also, Bama obviously could play their way in at 11. Notre Dame, it depends on the teams that they're going to play, what the rankings are going to be like. They can't have Louisville in a better spot than they are this week. That's an enormous game. But can Utah run the table? I don't think Utah can run the table. I really don't. I don't think Kentucky can. I don't think Missouri can. Oregon State's a team that can. Knowing who they get and when they play them in that conference, those wins are only going to get bigger. And then obviously with the undefeated, it's Oklahoma and Wazoo for sure. You already have wins underneath your belt. You got that 0 in the loss column, so that's what you need right about now, and all momentum going forward, knowing you want to be playing your best ball going into November and on.
Steve, real quick, is there like a nightmare playoff scenario for TV? Like,
I don't think so. Like that's one thing I look at, guys, is right now, geographically, it's as good as it could get. Like I just mentioned Miami. You got Florida State. You got that area of the country. Penn State carries the Northeast over there. We got Maryland undefeated for hopefully, I don't know.
Wait, Maryland's
2 more days?
undefeated?
They are.
Get the fuck out of here.
They are.
So I guess I'm wondering, like, yeah, I mean, it seems like they've got it pretty shored up to be an exciting
Yeah, I
TV
mean, you go up to the
package here.
Pacific Northwest. Oregon and Washington are playing next week. That's a monster game. And obviously you got SC, down in Southern California. So every base is covered. Mm-hmm. Now, what's standing at the end, I don't know. But it's as exciting as it could be and has been in some time, because that's what I look at. I look at the geography of it all, and that's why I think everybody has an interest level higher than they have.
Miami's currently plus 8,000 to win the title.
Oh.
You wager $350, you win $28,000 if they win the title.
That's the math. That's the math we need that we learn in real estate.
I might do that.
What about
Okay.
do you have odds to make the playoff?
What's 3% of 20?
I can do 3% of anything. I do not have to make the playoff. I have to win the championship.
That's the excitement. I get it. Everybody wants to know who can win a national title. But the idea of making the playoff, I mean, the Pac-12, it's been forever. A team like Penn State hasn't made it. So I just look at Texas hasn't made it. Florida State, first year, we had it. They made it, and then it's been it. We still haven't had Miami, Florida State in an ACC title game, right?
Correct.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. Miami plus 1,000 to make the playoff.
Worth a shot.
I mean, like, I think taking some long odds on some teams in the ACC is fun.
Yeah.
You know, like Florida State, prove it. You're back,
Exactly.
prove it.
Yeah.
But then Miami's going to drop one to
What's
a Virginia.
UNC's odds? What's UNC's odds to make the playoff?
They're
Plus 1,600.
Oh, I kind of like that.
wow. That's a big game next week. Get it before whoever you like in that game.
Yeah,
Or bet
exactly.
them both.
Okay,
Who cares?
Steve, let's spend a minute on each of these games, and you tell me who's going to win and why, and, you know, maybe who to bet, because that's why we're here.
Okay.
Oklahoma, Texas, you already talked about that. You like the points. It's 60.5. That's
Take
the
the
total.
over.
Okay, we're
Over
taking
in
the
Oklahoma.
over. Okay, Bama at Texas A&M. At Texas A&M.
ATM. You get it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
You got
I
it.
do.
+2.
Yeah.
And so they're catching 2 points, and total's 47.
Toughest game to bet, I think, on the card. When you look at Alabama, they've improved a ton with Milroe taking over. You saw some more quarterback design runs. As the season goes on, they're adding to the playbook, which is nice. Offensive line really had their best week last week on the road at Mississippi State. The problem is the consistency, guys. You know, when you go on the road, especially against a team in A&M who's just playing as well as anybody and who's got, you know, 5 stars across the front 7, you have to be, you know, consistent. You can't be playing behind the chains, and that's what worries me about Alabama going on the road. They have not shown that they could play consistent offensive football on the road, and this is as tough an environment as it's going to get. Last week it was the Cowbells. This week it's the 12th man. So I look at A&M, and I think the matchup comes down to A&M. I love their receivers. I think they're tremendous. They got every kind of guy you want. You got deep threat. You got over the middle. You got Anias, who's a return guy that does everything for him, even carries the ball. So to me, it's that great Bama secondary who played their worst game against Texas against A&M and backup quarterback Max Johnson. That's what it comes down to. I don't believe A&M can run the ball consistently on Bama. Like that, what I'm watching is Bama's defense. You know, great defenses play well on the road. That's what I'm expecting. I honestly think it comes down to a field goal, and I would shade towards taking A&M plus the points, but I don't like it at all. I just think about
It's a stay away
a home
for your
dog
boy.
there. Yeah,
Not touching.
great game to watch. Chris, for your eyes, Shamar Turner, number 5 D lineman for A&M. Fantastic.
Okay.
They got a bunch of single-digit guys up there too that get after it. So
I love
that's
that.
That's fun.
What single digits are for. They're for big guys.
Did
Yeah.
y'all hear that Devon A-Chain is now Devon A-Chan?
A-Chan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good to keep up
H-Chan.
with that.
Yeah.
Glad.
Yeah.
Glad he
FYI.
came out and said that.
Yep.
Robbie Chosen was like, that's it? Like, it's the only change? So, all right, LSU at Mizzou. Hey,
Ooh,
with my
watch
big
out.
brain,
Watch
I
out.
like Mizzou here.
Yeah, the line's going down, so obviously the heavy hitters, when those max bets go up in Vegas, they have thrown down their cash, and it looks like it's on Missouri. What I will say is the narrative of how bad LSU's defense has looked, that offense is just dirty. Running the ball with Diggs, throwing the ball. Daniels has been great. Neighbors has been unbelievable as a receiver. And when you look at that matchup, Missouri, that's the side of the ball. I know everybody talks about Cook, and he hasn't thrown a pick yet. But Missouri's defense has been really, really good. They got a bunch of guys in the D-line that'll go after you. In their secondary, you know, you don't see miscommunications. They play together, and that's got to be, I would think, one of the biggest home games there since I think it was 2010 I was there. Game Day was there. Blaine Gabbert, Landry Jones, Jeremy Macklin, Alden Smith, like Missouri. That's when they had guys all over. And unbelievable atmosphere. I expect the same thing, even though it's an 11 a.m. kick. I would have to side with the home dog there, Chris. I believe that Missouri is good enough offensively to score, because you just got to hold down LSU.
Yeah.
And I think I believe Missouri could do that. So I would side with the home dog there.
Okay. Lastly here, Notre Dame at Louisville. And I won some money on Louisville last week. As an aside, I'm wondering what's up with the Brennan Armstrong benching. Do I have to give up on my over-win total down there at NC State? I hear the backup per Cowboy Reed is not bad.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he actually impressed last year when he came in. You know, they gave him a chance, and Brennan just couldn't pull through. I mean, the last gets hit on that last throw that is a game-ending pick. But when you look at Louisville, wins over Georgia Tech, Murray State, Indiana, BC, NC State, this is a whole different animal because Notre Dame with that physicality, people are talking about can they, get it up for 3 straight weeks, Notre Dame on the road 2 straight weeks. I believe they can because of the style of play that they have. They want to run the ball. They got 3 great backs. We mentioned Estime earlier, but Hartman, this was a house of horrors. I believe he threw 6 picks at Louisville last year. I had him.
I happened to watch that game,
yeah,
because I don't watch every college football game, but I could not stop watching. Hartman was under siege. I've never seen somebody until Daniel Jones the other night get sacked as much as Hartman got sacked in that game. It was insane, and the picks.
Yeah, so you got to think he's motivated, and I really like Notre Dame's defense. You look at the corners and Hart, who's a kid from here that went to good counsel, and then the Morrison kid. They left him on an island against Marvin Harrison Jr., man. They didn't put much help over the top, and he played his ass off. And I just like the way Notre Dame is constructed defensively. I believe that defense travels. I'd have to take Notre Dame minus the points in that one.
I know they ain't played anybody, Paul, but is Jeff Brom here to stay, Steve? He was on everybody's top 5 candidates to replace your coach list for about 5 years, and then he finally comes home to Louisville.
Yeah, well, I mean, he brought Purdue to, I think, the max that they could get to, and that's a spot in the Big Ten title game. And now all these teams, I think about, a Maryland, a Minnesota. Now you have these Oregon, Washington, SC, UCLA coming in. That only makes those teams fall, further down, in my opinion. So I thought Brom, it was genius. I mean, they wanted him the first time, and he said no, and now he's there. He's got it rolling. He's one of my favorite play callers in the sport, and that's why I'm really interested to see. He's usually a master with screens and using over-aggressiveness, of the defense against them. So that's where, Notre Dame's pretty basic. I mean, they stand in there with you, and that's why they're so solid to me. So I believe it's going to be tough for Louisville to score. I think Notre Dame is the right side minus the points.
Speaking of great internet videos, Jeff Brom is one of my favorite coaches in football, period, because of his XFL situation where they took him off in an ambulance. His head was sideways. He was just laying on the ground, and I was like, is he dead? They took him in an ambulance. 6 days later, they play. He comes out there with a neck brace, and the guy on the sideline's like, hey, Jeff Brom, can I grab you for an interview? He goes, how do you plan tonight after what happened 6 days ago? He said, I want to answer that question by asking you 2 questions. Is this the XFL? Yes, it is. Do I have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football. It's
right from Monday Night Raw.
Oh my God, dude! Go look at him. He was sideways on the field.
He was a very good player too.
Yeah,
very good.
And he's got stones. Let me ask you this first: is there a Pac-12 lock?
Washington and Oregon are off. Those are usually the right teams to have.
Stanford came through for me last week. It took a while.
They're
Ducks by 36 in that one.
Yeah. They were in that game for half of it.
Yeah, they're not
all right. We don't have to give out an upset special in the Pac-12. Well,
UCLA's favored. I think they're telling you something there.
Okay, UCLA's favored. Okay, so take a look at that. How about an upset
Arizona's,
special?
If Delora plays for Arizona, they could cover 21.5 for sure.
At USC.
Yep.
Okay, how about an upset special nationally?
Marshall going to NC State. Marshall's been fantastic. Offensive coordinator Clint Trickett doing a great job there. It's not pretty. Ali, the running back, is the only guy in the country to have 2 touchdowns in every game. Marshall has the goods to go in the Raleigh and win. I'll take the Thundering Herd.
Great. All right, and how about an STL Memorial Lock? This goes out to a team that nobody's going to watch play but could make you money.
Oh, I hate to say it because I talked them up the whole time, but Miami playing North Carolina next week in a monster game in which should be a battle of undefeateds. Why the hell they're only giving 20 to Georgia Tech, who just lost to Bowling Green, I don't understand. That line, they should be getting 30.
Okay.
That line stinks to me, so I'll take Georgia Tech there.
Okay, cool. And it's time for the awards, Steve. We've got the Timmy Chang Award. Let's lead off with that. This goes to the best quarterback in the country that is, I don't know. Well, how do we define this award?
I don't know. I think Steve
It's
went
not
non-quarterback.
Power 5. No, we don't have running back. We don't have quarterbacks. We're going to the FCS level. Monster game last week. Idaho at Eastern Washington on the Inferno. That's the red turf of Eastern Washington.
God, that thing is crazy.
Up by your neck of the woods, not Montana, Idaho. The Vandals, running back Anthony Woods. No, not that. Did you guys just dap on that?
Yeah, because we got you.
God. Anthony Woods, running back. He wears number 28. 24 carries, 183 yards, 5 tutters. Five tutters in a win. I believe Idaho is up to number 3 in the FCS rankings. So I believe that Anthony Woods is your Timmy Chang Award winner.
Mike Iupati somewhere proud.
Hey, no.
Okay, and the Conklin Award.
Just name it the Bowers Award. Did you see Brock Bowers last week? Everybody in the stadium. Have you been to a game at Auburn?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's
called Jordan Hair.
Yeah, it's not LSU, but God, it's good, man. And those people are just crazy. I love them. Absolutely love Auburn going there. Wish we get a trip there in the near future. I'm not sure that's going to happen. But you guys saw that place on fire. I thought Carson Beck was really impressive because everybody in the building and watching on TV knew you had to get the ball to 19, and that's what they did. 8 for 157, finally gets in the end zone. So Brock Bowers is an absolute man-child. If you could get those stats up, because that's all anybody cares about for the Heisman, my goal is to get him invited to New York. He is that special of a player, and you saw it last week in the biggest spot for his team.
Steve, do you know where Brock Bowers is from?
Napa, California.
Wow.
That's right. Right answer.
I feel like Zach Ertz is from there, too.
Huh.
No, Zach's from East Bay.
Okay, yeah. Big difference.
Jeez, Steve.
Okay, and then
Relax on the
lastly,
knowledge.
he knows where all the tight ends are from.
Come on.
Where's T.J. Hawkinson from?
Hey, wait till I try and tackle Michael Mayer this pregame Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You got to hug
Finally
him.
get to meet him. Yeah.
You got to hug him, please. Will you tell him we had an award basically named – we can lie.
He knows.
Okay. All right, good.
I went up to Colby Parkinson, tight end for the Seahawks, played at Stanford, and Noah Fant. They were, getting loose at Monday Night Football this past week. Good Lord, they didn't make tight ends like that back when I played.
They're big, huh?
Thank God. Dude, Colby Parkinson is a monster.
Dude, 6'7".
Oh, my
huge.
Lord. And Waller on the other side. I'm like, look, and DK comes out, and he's bigger than all
You should
of them.
have showed Daniel Jones Darren Waller.
No.
You should have been like, you see this guy? Like, look at these tight ends, Dan. All right, so
Remember 2 years ago on the field, Steve?
this guy
look
Parkinson's
at these
huge,
Notre
bro.
Dame tight ends.
This guy Parkinson is fucking impressive looking.
Dude, his legs. I didn't realize his legs are that big either.
All right, so this is a dynamite lead into your award. Well, this is for you only because you actually get to see these guys in person. But the Isaiah Simmons Award from last week, was there anybody on the field that you were like, holy shit? And I feel like you had Notre Dame again. So you could just
and I didn't make it to the game, so I would go Colby Parkinson.
Yeah, okay,
tight
good.
end,
He gets it.
Seahawks.
He gets it. Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, the moment we've all been waiting for, all of us,
right.
almost all of us,
Yeah.
the NFL locks.
Ooh.
And I will note at this moment that Macon has this typical stranglehold over me on Thursday night. That's just his thing.
Is that the only good thing we could say about making the rest of this?
No, I mean, because it's a thorn in my side. I can't pick Thursday night games. But as for the locks so far this year, we've got Macon 4-8, Steve 6-6, Chris 7-4-1.
There we go.
So
making some headroom. Did I go 2-1?
Yeah, you went 2-1 last week. Nice. I went 2-1. Macon.
Right. So I'll step in
What'd
at
you
this
do?
point because
Where'd you
I
go?
I
Did
thought
Did you go
I,
over again?
He went 1-2. He got the Bills game.
excuse
So you got
me.
1 out of your last 5. That's good.
Excuse me.
You should have bought a half point for the
Excuse
Bills,
me.
like you did with the.
Excuse me.
Okay, you got it.
Okay. So I looked at the doc last night, big prep guy, and I didn't know if this was a bid or not. I went 3-0 last week, you fucking idiots. All right?
Whoa.
I got everyone right. You may remember I went against Steve and Texans Steelers, won that one. I went under in Bucks Saints, won that one. And I had the Cowboys minus 6.5, and I won that one. So y'all gave my result to Stanford Steve, and y'all give me shit when I asked for some Ernst & Young type accounting
I
up
think
in
he's
here,
right because I think on my post-it last week,
I'm
I
right.
looked at it and I thought he was 3-0.
I went 3-0. I'm
Okay, so
6-6.
Steve, you went 1-2.
Steve is 4-8.
Jeez.
Oh.
And do y'all
What a
want to
plot
say you're
twist.
sorry or anything?
I don't have
I'm
anything
sorry.
to say.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thank
I don't have
you.
anything
He
to
kept
say.
saying 1 and 5. You guys back there?
I knew I had I took
We're
the Bronx.
sorry. Okay.
We're sorry.
I flipped the Zin up for Broncos Bears, and Chris said I was on the right side, and I was on the wrong.
Yeah, well, this week we've got a brand new chance to thrive, guys.
All right, 3-0 Macon. Let's go.
Yeah, 6-6. You can make Steve 4-8. That's perfect. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's not
Chris in first
4-7-1. I
Afraid
thought I
not.
bought the half on the Broncos.
Well, at the current juncture, I'm not sure we know what's going on.
Well,
All right,
You
time
can
to go
track-
to work.
you can
Let's go to
track the
work.
changes. in
Season
these
starts today.
documents.
Well, no, it doesn't. It's been going. All right, so Macon, you're up first.
I'm not because Steve is in last
Oh,
place.
yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Titans -2.5 against the Colts.
Love that.
Better
Uh-oh.
team.
We're sure about that? The better team?
I don't think it's as close as people think. I think it's closer than people think, and the line reflects that. But there are some matchup issues that we discussed earlier.
Okay. Here's a terrible game to pick. I'll take the New England Patriots at home.
Okay.
-1 against the New Orleans Saints.
Okay. And I don't love doing this because I have the Vikings under win total, and people are going to say, ugh. But I think the Vikings are going to cover. What's
They
MGM
better.
got them at 4 right now?
Good pick.
4. And that line's been moving. So give me the Vikings.
All right, I see the Sunday night game as the only marketable game on the slate. Plenty of people have chimed in on it. I think the Niners are a superior team. Give me the Niners -4.
Oh, I agree with you.
Sometimes you don't need to overthink it.
Go ahead.
What Steve's saying. Okay. I'm going to take another terrible one. How's about that? The Atlanta Falcons at home -1.5.
Okay.
A little bit of a zag.
Okay.
Maybe Ritter. Maybe Ritter improves. This
Maybe
week.
not. Maybe not.
And maybe not. And maybe not.
I'll
Heineke.
take the other side of that for the fuck of it. This is how you're going to win the bet. Is Heineke's going to come in at some point? But
Yeah.
all right, I'll take the other side. Fuck it. It wasn't even on my list, but this is an opportunity for me to possibly.
You're not afraid.
I'm not afraid. When you got a lead, you can take shots.
Don't be
like
scared.
this. So I'll take the other side of that thing. I'll take the Texans. They're getting guys back. You know that they're getting guys back. Tackles.
I did know that.
Okay.
Titus Howard, Laramie Tunsil.
Okay, and
you go.
on defense,
Prepping.
Perryman,
Perryman.
who I like.
Hurricane.
All right. So, anyways, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Who's next?
Me?
Yeah.
Evo.
Same thing. Eagles, Rams. Eagles are a superior team. Eagles,
buddy. I can't give it out because of the way my situation works, but I would consider giving out the Rams and buying to 5.
Wow.
I think it's going to be an interesting game.
Okay.
Who's up now?
I'm up.
Inside info.
No, it has nothing to do with inside info.
It sounds like inside info.
You heard what I said earlier, Make,
I did. Which was
which is
Inside info.
enlightening.
yeah. Hey, just for the record, guys.
Cupper
I know
Cup's back, right?
Yep.
we could do this at another time, but I picked the Patriots there, the first one, not the Saints. I mean, it's
This is where it goes.
it's crazy. It's
What's
crazy.
going on behind the scenes at a green
Crazy.
light? They had a long week. They getting enough vacation days?
I am going to
Hey,
resist.
Is the
urge.
talent getting enough vacation days?
I'm going to resist the urge to go against one of y'all,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to go to Monday night and take a superior team. Speaking of superior teams, in the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I don't know
Green Bay
about that.
Packers favored by a point on Monday night in Las Vegas.
Crosby's going to go off.
I'm going to take a big gulp right now, and I'm going to take the Jets,
Okay.
and I'm going to buy to 3. And it's such a heart pick, but I feel like their backs are against the wall. They're building on something positive. They're playing Sean Payton. I just feel like they're going to be in this game. I think there's enough plays to be made offensively that they're going to be in this game.
Steve, where do you want your half point so we have it on
Nathaniel
record here?
Hackett going back to Denver, motivated.
Motivated, bro.
I guess you only.
Steve, where are you buying your half point?
Philly.
Wise.
How about the 1 o'clock slate, huh?
The 1 o'clock slate. Yeah,
Wow.
it's not pretty.
Wow.
Good thing we're bookending this Sunday with 2 good games.
I'm going to get back to everybody about my half point.
I think you should do it now.
Well,
It's only math, dude.
all of my spreads are a point or a point and a half.
So go ahead and buy the Falcons.
Down to a point.
Yeah,
Okay, and then I bring in a push, I guess.
Yeah, you bring in a push, you're protected.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I just want to get to the next part of the
Pats
show.
is the only other way I could do it. Although the Pats are favored by a point. They're
Yep.
not getting a point. I'm concerned.
Tighten it up back there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we should start
New
drug testing,
technology. I
guys.
blame the new technology, not the guys.
Matt just left the studio when he heard.
Did the
drug
Bengals
test.
win?
The Bengals. I gotta feel like they do, man. Honestly, it's so easy to pick the Cardinals this week because honestly, it's pretty close. But you gotta like your matchups outside.
Yeah.
In the past,
I am
rush isn't going to
surprised
be
they're
the
giving
same as
3,
it's
though.
been. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know. All right,
Jake
Steve.
Browning, 0 for 1, lifetime. I learned that from Woody Page yesterday, about 5 o'clock.
You're watching that stuff.
No,
Okay.
it happened to. No.
Okay. Steve, appreciate the time.
Wahoo wah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Love
we
you
play,
guys.
We play the tribe this
Beat
this
William
week.
and Mary.
appreciate that.
No
Shout
sure
out to
thing.
the branch.
Take care.
You,
Bye.
Steve.